My name is Rupert Boyd and I come from Australia. How do you know if there's a guitarist at your door? They're the one wearing the Domino's pizza hat. What's the difference between a guitarist and an extra large pizza? Extra large pizza could feed a family of 4. You can't make too much fun of guitarists. Well, you can. I can't. Today was fun, it was a blast. Honestly, I've always just been in the music business for adventures. The career path I'm going down is as very much a serious classical musician, a concert artist, and I do feel like there is somewhat a stigma against busking. That I feel like if people see musicians playing in the subways or playing out in the streets, they usually think they're not great musicians. I think there is a prejudice that, they don't expect that they would have degrees from the Manhattan School of Music and Yale University. I don't know, I don't really want to be associated as a busking artist in this day. I appreciate it, but I think there is just a sort of a negative stigma against buskers. That they're generally not very good musicians. It's really interesting. They're having those studies with Joshua Bell. They did one in Australia years ago with Tommy Emmanuel, and he dressed up in a wig and a fake beard and played in the middle of circular key, and in an hour made about $7.50. And then he took off his costume, and everyone saw it was Tommy Emmanuel, and suddenly he had the hugest crowd there that they'd ever seen. Yeah, I haven't busked really since I was about 11 or 12. I used to go to the local supermarket area and used to busk, and like an 11-year-old kid I'd make maybe $20 in an hour, which for me at the time was a lot of money. It actually, some days still is a lot of money. And the only problem was I ended up with $20 in 10, 20 cent pieces. And so, all the shopkeepers used to get really annoyed with me going in and buying things with just all the spare change. But I used to do that probably, not all the time, but maybe once or twice a month. And I think it was one of the things that really got me enthusiastic about music. It was like, wow, I'm actually making money from doing this. Since I moved to New York, I think I've busked in total 3 times, including today. Once was with an accordion player friend of mine. We sat in Central Park for a couple of hours, and I think by the end of it, we had made enough money to buy each other a coffee. And then I once busked with a group called, what were they called? Ah yes, Humongous and the Central Park Fungus. We were all high-class musicians except for most of us. But it was just a fun way to spend a sunny Saturday afternoon in Central Park. So we'd actually went to Strawberry Fields. It's obviously a very sort of sacred place for Beatles fans. And we went and we were being respectful, I believe, but there was another musician there who'd already kind of staked out his area a little bit down the hill, and he heard us playing and singing better than he was and got a little unhappy about that. Yeah, and it never came to blows, but it was close. Omaha, Nebraska, I got to throw out the first pitch at a baseball game. And having never thrown a baseball in my life, That was probably one of the most nerve-wracking experiences I've ever had. And so it was just like seriously debating whether I could bowl at cricket style, like they do in like Australia and England. But then the prospect of getting booed out of the stadium by like 1,000 angry Nebraskans was not a good idea. What do you call a guitarist without a girlfriend? Homeless?